Hello, and welcome to In the Know at Churchville-Chili, the podcast intended to educate and empower caregivers by addressing important topics impacting their children and families. Each episode, we will discuss a different topic related to academics, social emotional wellness, mental health supports, or behavior, and provide useful resources to caregivers. This podcast is brought to you by the Churchville-Chili Flash Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Know, a district podcast designated to keep families and our community connected to what's happening in our schools. I'm Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Peluso, and I'm so glad you're joining us today. We're kicking off the school year with a big change in New York State education. This past spring, Governor Hochul signed the Distraction-Free Schools Law, which makes New York State the first state in the nation to adopt a statewide bell-to-bell cell phone ban in all K-12 public schools. So what does that mean? It means that during the school day, whether it's in class, the cafeteria, the hallway, or at recess, students must keep their personal internet-enabled devices, like cell phones and smartwatches, powered off and put away. The goal behind the law is to reduce distractions, increase focus on learning, and support stronger social connections for students. Our district has been preparing for the shift, and today I'm joined by three of our school leaders, Mr. Todd Yunker, principal at Fairbanks Road School, grades pre-K through 4, Mrs. Becca Tibbitts, executive principal of the middle school, grades 5 through 8, and Miss Jen Grimes, executive principal of the senior high school, grades 9 through 12. They'll help us talk through exactly what this will look like at each level and what families need to know. Welcome, everyone. Let's start at the elementary level. Mr. Yunker, parents may be wondering, what changes will our youngest learners see this fall under the new cell phone rules?
Well, the policy is actually the same at the elementary level. Our policy has always been no cell phones. So that won't be a change for our students and for our staff. But where the policy really does change is the smartwatches. So this year, smartwatches won't be allowed in the classroom. So if the student is wearing one, they'll be asked to keep it in their book bag and then placed in their locker.
That makes sense and seems to be pretty consistent with what has been done in the past. So what if a parent needs to reach their child, or a student needs to reach a parent during the school day? Any changes there at the elementary school?
Once again, not a change. We always want parents to contact the main office if there's any changes to their schedule or if they need to get a hold of a teacher or their child. Parents can also directly email their child's teacher, and a lot of teachers do use messaging applications like Seesaw, and parents can reach out to their children through their teacher. If a child needs to reach their parents, our practice has always been they come to the main office and they simply make a phone call, and we'll continue to do that.
Thank you. That's pretty clear, simple, and age appropriate, and doesn't seem to be much different than what our students and parents are used to. Now, middle school is often where phones become a bigger part of a student's lives. Mrs. Tibbitts, how will the policy look different at the middle school?
So the previous policy will not look much different for students in grades 5 and 6 because they were typically not allowed to have their cell phones during the day. So that is not much of a change for them. 7th and 8th graders previously were only allowed to use their cell phones during passing times and in the cafeteria. So this will be a little bit of a change for them. All of our students in the middle school at the beginning of the year will be issued a zippable pouch, and the expectation will be that all of their cell phones, smartwatches, any internet-enabled device will be off and in that pouch during the day. 5th and 6th graders will be able to put that pouch in their book bag, and 7th and 8th graders will have the option to put the pouch either in their book bag or in their locker.
Knowing our middle school learners and the middle school environment, what happens if a student forgets or decides not to follow the rules?
So there's going to be progressive consequences each time there is an infraction, and home adults will be notified every time. So the first time, a parent will get a phone call home, and the student will be able to pick up their device at the end of the day in one of the offices. As the infractions continue, administrators will contact parents and may schedule an in-person meeting. There could be a point where parents will be required to pick up the phones at the end of the school day, or after that, if it continues, students may be required to lock up their phones in a storage device in one of the offices upon arriving at school each day.
We heard about the communication options at the elementary level. what are the communication options for the middle schools?
So, as always, parents or home adults can call any of the school offices, and those numbers are listed on our website. As well as, if you've been checking your email, we have sent out communication from the middle school specifically about our cell phone expectations, and all of the office extensions have been listed on that. Additionally, parents can email one of their students' teachers if they need to get in touch during the school day, as well as sending a written note.
That's great. Let's move up to the high school. Mrs. Grimes, this is probably where families have the most questions. What can you share?
So our high school students in grades 9 through 12 will also be issued zippable pouches. Our ninth graders are assigned lockers, and then students in grades 10 through 12 can request a locker if they would like to have one. So if students choose not to place their pouches in their lockers, then they do need to be in their book bags and out of sight for the entirety of the school day. Similar to the middle school, there will be progressive consequences each time there's an infraction, beginning with a phone call home and then device confiscation for student pickup at the end of the day. As these continue, administrators will contact home and may schedule in-person meetings with families. Parents will also be required to pick up phones at the end of the day after the second infraction. After the third, students will be required to leave their phones in a locked storage device in main offices once they arrive at school each day.
High school students often have added responsibilities. They may be driving, playing sports, participating in extracurricular activities, or even holding part-time jobs. Naturally, families are going to wonder how communication works under this new policy. How can parents get a hold of their child during the school day? And how can a student reach their parent if they need to?
Well, so we understand that high school students have busy schedules, so we're going to encourage families and students to organize that stuff before they leave for the school day. But if they do need to reach out for a change in schedule or to just get in touch, they can call the main office school phones. They can reach their student through email, so that's going to be new this year. The email has been opened up for students in 9th through 12th grade, so parents can email students at their school email address. Also, there are some teachers that have school messaging applications that they use. So if that's applicable and the teacher has already shared that, they can reach out through that, through specific teachers, and they can also write notes. Students will be permitted to use their device after the school day. So they're encouraged, like I said, to coordinate plans before or after school hours if possible. If they do need to contact their child during the school day, they should follow the guidelines that I had previously mentioned.
Thank you, Mrs. Grimes. That's very reassuring, and it highlights while the law limits cell phone during the day, we still have reliable ways for families and students to stay connected when it truly matters. Before we close, I'd love to hear one quick thought from each of you. What's one word that describes your hopes for students under this new policy? We'll start with you, Mrs. Tibbitts.
Flexible.
How about you, Mrs. Grimes?
Understanding.
And Mr. Yunker?
Supportive.
I agree 100%. I love that. Those words really sum up what we hope our learning environment looks like and feels like in each of our schools. To our families listening, thank you for your partnership. We know this is a change, and we're committed to working with you every step of the way. Please visit our website for the full guidelines, including FAQs and resources. And as always, reach out to your child's school if you have any questions. Thank you for joining us on In the Know. Until next time, I'm Dr. Carmine Peluso, and together, we're building a legacy of learners.
Thank you for listening to this episode of In the Know. We hope you found the information helpful. Please visit our district website and wellness hub at www.cccsd.org/inthe-know for more information, resources, and who to contact for additional support. Now, you're in the know.